Have you ever met someone who felt like a blessing from heaven, only to later realize they carried secrets darker than you could ever imagine? This is my story, the story of Juliet. We met on a Sunday morning at St. Peter's Catholic Church. The air smelled of incense, and the choir's voices still lingered in my ears as I stepped through the gate. The sun was warm, and the streets buzzed with life. The laughter of children blending with the honking of motorcycles. I was lost in thought when a voice suddenly called out, sharp yet sweet, "Hey, hey, brother!" I turned slowly, and there she was. A tall, elegant woman approached me. Her red gown flowed with the wind, bold and commanding. Black high heels clicked against the ground with steady confidence, as though the earth itself kept rhythm for her steps. A red hat rested gracefully on her head, shielding her eyes just enough to make me curious. Around her neck, a necklace glimmered like a drop of sunlight. When she reached me, she stretched out her hand. "My name is Juliet," she said, her voice smooth and calm. I shook her hand softly. "I'm Gozi." Her eyes sparkled. "Your voice is very nice. I heard you sing during your testimony." Her words sank deep into me. I smiled shyly, trying to hold her gaze, but something about her beauty felt overwhelming. My eyes dropped to the ground. "Well, I'm actually a choir master and also a band leader in my home church." Her lips curved into a bright smile. "Really? I'm also the band leader here and the choir mistress." For a moment, the noise around us faded. The crowd, the voices, the busy road, all of it went quiet in my ears. It felt as if life had paused to let Juliet and I exist in that one perfect moment. I told her it was my first time in the city and my very first day attending the church. Before we parted, I gave her my contact. "My battery is almost dead," I explained. "Call me later in the day." She waved goodbye, and I walked away. But her smile followed me home. That evening, I waited for her call. Minutes passed into hours, still no call came. Instead, I dreamt. In the dream, I was standing before a large crowd, singing. Juliet was right there beside me, backing me up. Her voice was strong, yet soft, lifting mine higher. The dream felt so real that when I woke up, I could still hear her harmony in my ears. By 10 the following morning, my phone rang. It was Juliet. "We're having band rehearsal this evening," she said cheerfully. "You should come." I wasn't in town yet, but I promised I would attend if I returned early. By evening, I was back, calling her as I rushed to the church. She told me I could still make it. My heart beat faster as I hurried. When I arrived, her face lit up. Around 10 people had gathered, their voices and instruments filling the air with expectation. I was asked to introduce myself, and I did, trying not to sound nervous. Then, rehearsal began. Voices rose and fell, blending like waves crashing gently on the shore. Drums tapped out steady rhythms, guitars strummed chords that floated like smoke. For a moment, I forgot myself. I was carried away by the music, by the atmosphere, and most of all, by Juliet's presence. After rehearsal, a few of us went to a nearby restaurant. The place smelled of grilled meat and fried rice. Bottles clinked as they were set on tables, and laughter rose above the hum of conversation. Juliet and I talked endlessly, her laughter bubbling like a stream. Time ran fast. Minutes to 10, she said softly, "I should be going." I offered to take her home, and she accepted. The night was cool, the streets quieter now. As we walked, I couldn't help but notice how her shadow stretched long under the street lights, walking side by side with mine. From then on, Juliet and I became closer. Rehearsals became more than just music. They became moments I lived for. On Saturdays, on Sundays, after services, we always found time to talk, to laugh, to share pieces of ourselves. I remember one particular Sunday. After service, Juliet suggested we go to the cinema. The hall was dark, filled with the soft scent of popcorn and the murmur of people settling into their seats. As the screen flickered to life, I found myself stealing glances at her more than watching the film. She leaned close to whisper jokes about the actors, her laughter bubbling softly in the darkness. When she spoke about her love for music, her eyes lit up brighter than the movie itself. I told her how I had grown to become a choir master, and her smile in response was warmer than any scene on the screen. That evening, it wasn't the film I remembered, it was Juliet. That night when I went home, I couldn't sleep. I lay awake staring at the ceiling, her face and voice filling every corner of my mind. Juliet was no longer just a friend. She had become the song my heart beat to. Soon, we began calling each other names. She became my Juliet, and I became her Romeo. Then came her birthday. We went out that evening, laughed and drank to her new age. Her joy was infectious, but as the night deepened and it was time to go home, she looked at me with eyes that were serious, almost heavy. "I'll pass the night at your house," she said. My words struck me. My mind raced, but I welcomed her. That night, we sat on my bed, talking and laughing, our voices soft in the stillness of the room. At some point, silence fell. The only sound was the faint ticking of my wall clock. Our eyes met, locked, and held. "Why are you looking at me like that?" she whispered. "Because you are beautiful," I replied, my voice almost breaking. She smiled. Slowly, our lips met in a kiss. It was soft at first, uncertain like the first drops of rain on dry ground. Then it deepened. But suddenly, she pulled away. Her breath trembled. "I'm sorry," she whispered. I froze. "Sorry?" Then she said words I'll never forget. "I am still a virgin. I'm keeping myself for the man that will marry me." My heart sank. I didn't know what to say. I simply apologized. The night grew heavy with silence. We lay side by side, wide awake, our thoughts louder than our words. The next morning when I woke up, I reached to gently wake her, but the bed was empty. She was gone. My mind raced, my heart pounding. There was no note, no explanation, just the faint scent of her perfume lingering in the room. At church that morning, I searched for her. She was nowhere to be found. Later, I learned the shocking truth. Juliet had passed away. She had died trying to abort a 3-month pregnancy. The words pierced me like knives. Juliet? The same Juliet who looked me in the eyes and told me she was a virgin? The same Juliet who called me her Romeo? People who knew her outside church confessed she was never the holy church girl everyone thought she was. And just like that, Juliet was gone. The girl who made music feel like life itself. The girl whose laughter once filled the air like bells on a Sunday morning. Rest in peace, Juliet. From her story, I learned something I will never forget. Not everything that glitters is gold. Behind the brightest smiles may hide the darkest truths.